History looks like something fixed. Dates, names, events, all neatly written in textbooks. But the deeper you go, the less stable everything becomes, because there are parts of history that do not behave like normal history, objects that don't fit their time, people whose intelligence seems impossible, structures that modern technology still struggles to replicate, and events that changed everything after a single moment of chaos. The question is simple. How much of history do we actually understand, and how much of it is just the version we were allowed to see? Let's start with the most famous image in human culture. The Mona Lisa is often described as the most famous painting in existence, but if you remove the fame, what remains is surprisingly simple. A woman, a chair, a landscape, and a face that refuses to behave consistently. The painting measures only 77 by 53 centimeters, small enough to fit on a desk, yet it attracts millions of people every year. Why? Because the human brain cannot fully stabilize what it sees. The smile appears to shift depending on distance and lighting. When you look directly at the mouth, it seems neutral. When you shift your focus, it appears to smile more. This is not magic. It is sfumato, a technique of extreme soft blending. Leonardo da Vinci spent years refining this effect. He worked on the painting between 1503 and 1507. Some accounts suggest he never truly considered it finished. Instead, it became a long-term experiment in perception itself. But the real turning point in the Mona Lisa's history was not its creation, it was its disappearance. 1911, the theft that changed everything. In 1911, the painting vanished from the Louvre. No alarms, no immediate suspects, no explanation. For 24 hours, no one even realized it was gone. The thief was Vincenzo Peruggia, an Italian worker. His motivation was not profit. He believed the painting belonged in Italy. For 2 years, the Mona Lisa disappeared completely. During that time, something unexpected happened. The absence created more value than the object itself. Newspapers turned it into a global mystery. Crowds formed outside the Louvre just to see the empty space. When the painting was finally recovered in 1913, its status had completely changed. It was no longer just art. It became a global symbol. And from that moment on, its value was no longer aesthetic. It was psychological. But Leonardo da Vinci himself is an even deeper anomaly. Leonardo da Vinci is often described as a genius. But that word is too small for what he represents. He operated across multiple disciplines simultaneously: painting, engineering, anatomy, mechanics, architecture. Most people specialize in one field. Leonardo treated knowledge as a single system. His notebooks contain mirror writing, written from right to left. This is often explained as being left-handed, but there is a more important detail. It also protected his ideas from casual reading. Inside those notebooks are thousands of sketches. Some are realistic, some are theoretical, some are structurally incomplete even by modern standards. Flying machines resembling helicopters, armored vehicles resembling tanks, mechanical systems resembling modern robotics concepts. What makes this disturbing is not the imagination, it is the timing. These ideas appear centuries before the technology required to build them. This creates a structural question. Was he simply ahead of his time, or was he exploring principles others never formalized? Even today, researchers still debate the full meaning of some of his diagrams, and many pages remain only partially interpreted. Last Supper was painted in Milan between 1495 and 1498. Unlike traditional frescoes, Leonardo experimented with materials. This decision created one of the most fragile masterpieces in history. Within decades, the painting began deteriorating. Humidity, temperature changes, and material instability all contributed. Restorations began early and never stopped. What we see today is a heavily reconstructed version, but the structure of the composition still carries unusual interpretations. The scene shows Jesus and the 12 apostles at the moment of betrayal announcement. The reaction is not uniform. Each figure responds differently. Some lean away, some gesture, some appear frozen in psychological tension. This creates a controlled chaos effect. Modern analysts have proposed symbolic interpretations, hidden geometry, numerical symmetry, possible musical mapping. One theory suggests the spacing of figures may correspond to rhythmic structures. None of these theories are confirmed, but they persist because the composition is too precise to feel accidental. The Great Pyramid of Giza remains one of the most analyzed structures in history. Approximately 2.3 million limestone blocks were used in its construction. Some of these blocks weigh up to 80 tons. The structure is aligned with remarkable precision to cardinal directions. Even small angular errors are minimal compared to its scale. The question is not whether it could be built. The question is how it was built with the tools available at the time. Common explanations include ramps, straight ramps, spiral ramps, internal ramp systems. Others propose more complex logistics involving water transport or lifting systems. None of these models fully resolve all constraints simultaneously. This leaves a gap between engineering possibility and historical evidence, which is why debate continues. Tutankhamun ruled Egypt as a young pharaoh. He died at approximately 19 years old. His tomb was discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter. Unlike most royal tombs, it was almost intact. This preservation created an unprecedented archaeological event. Artifacts, furniture, and burial objects remained largely undisturbed. However, shortly after the discovery, several individuals connected to the excavation died under unusual circumstances. This led to the emergence of the Curse of the Pharaohs. Scientifically, no causal link has been proven, but culturally, the narrative became extremely powerful. It turned archaeology into global media spectacle. History is not a complete system. It is a partial reconstruction. Some parts are solid, some are inferred, some are missing entirely. And the most important truth is this: the gaps in history are often larger than the records themselves, which means every explanation we accept is only the best version of an incomplete picture. If you want more facts like this, subscribe to the channel. New historical facts, hidden details, and unexplained stories every time.